Hello everyones. Welcome back to the channel that always brings you the juiciest updates, the stories that make your heart ache, and sometimes even leave you staring at your screen whispering, "Oh no, not them too." And today, I have something heavy, something that fans across the world have been talking about with tears in their eyes. Because this isn't about a new drama role, a fashion campaign, or some playful behind-the-scenes moment. This is about Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan, two of the brightest stars in Chinese entertainment, facing a loss that is deeply personal, profoundly moving, and that has shaken their fandom to the core. The headline alone is enough to make you pause. Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan reportedly lost a very precious figure in their lives, fans saddened by this event. When words like precious figure and loss appear in the same sentence with these two names, you know it's not something small. Fans instantly felt their hearts clench, wondering what exactly had happened, and more importantly, how their idols are holding up in the face of such sorrow. Now, before we dive in, let me just say, this isn't about gossip. This isn't about wild speculation. This is about empathy, about standing in solidarity with people who, despite their fame and glittering careers, are still human beings with real emotions, real families, and real grief. And as fans, as people who followed their journey, cheered for them, defended them, and loved them from afar, we feel their pain almost as if it were our own. So let's talk about what's happening, why this loss is so impactful, and how it's connecting millions of people across the world in a wave of sympathy and support. To truly understand the weight of this moment, we need to remember who Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan are beyond the spotlight. Yes, they're global icons. Yes, they've conquered the world with the Untamed, with their music, with their fashion, and with their magnetic presence both on and off screen. But at their core, they're also young men who hold their loved ones close, who draw strength from the people behind them, the mentors, the family members, the friends who've shaped their journey. Reports began circulating that both Yibo and Xiao Zhan were struck by the passing of someone incredibly meaningful in their lives. The details have been kept private, as expected, because grief is not something you parade around. But fans quickly pieced together the weight of the situation from small clues: social media silence, subtle changes in demeanor, and even the quiet acknowledgement from people close to them. It became clear that this wasn't just a random acquaintance. This was someone precious, someone irreplaceable, and that's where fans' hearts broke. Because no matter how much we adore their talent, no matter how much we cheer their success, what truly ties us to them is their humanity. Seeing them vulnerable, seeing them go through something so universally painful, makes us realize that stardom doesn't shield anyone from life's hardest chapters. Imagine being in their shoes for a moment. You're constantly under the public eye. Every move you make is documented, every smile analyzed, every silence interpreted. And then, in the middle of this whirlwind, you lose someone who's been a guiding light in your life. You can't fully grieve in private because you know the world is watching. You can't completely break down because you're expected to stay professional, to keep working, to keep smiling for the cameras. That's the cruel reality of being a public figure. And yet, both Yibo and Xiao Zhan have been navigating this storm with a quiet grace that has left fans both heartbroken and deeply admiring. What stands out even more is how their fans reacted. Instead of demanding appearances or asking invasive questions, most fans chose to surround them with love and patience. Hashtags trended not just out of curiosity, but out of genuine care. Messages flooded timelines with words like, "Take your time, we'll be here," and "Your happiness matters more than any performance." Fans began sharing their own experiences of loss, creating a digital circle of comfort where grief could be acknowledged and shared. In many ways, this painful moment became a bridge, a reminder that behind every idol is a human heart, and behind every fan is a story too. For Wang Yibo, who is often seen as the cool, composed one, this moment revealed a softness that fans rarely get to see. He's known for being quiet, sometimes even misunderstood as distant, but those who followed him closely know that his loyalty to the people he loves runs deep. When he loses someone important, it's not just a passing sadness, it's a wound that shapes him. A silence that speaks louder than words. Fans noticed the slight dimming of his usually sharp gaze, the heaviness in his presence during recent outings. And they understood. They didn't need a statement. His pain was visible, even in his silence. As for Xiao Zhan, His fans know him as someone warm, gentle, almost poetic in the way he carries himself. He wears his heart on his sleeve more than Yibo does, and so his grief was felt in the subtle way he addressed fans recently, thanking them quietly for their support but clearly carrying a weight he couldn't put into words. It was the kind of vulnerability that made fans want to reach through the screen and offer a comforting hug. Because sometimes words aren't enough. Sometimes just knowing you're not alone makes the unbearable just a little lighter. And here's where it gets even more emotional: the way both fandoms, sometimes known for their heated debates, came together. In this moment of loss, there was no division, no rivalry, no competition. Instead, it was unity. Whether you were a Yibo fan, a Xiao Zhan fan, or someone who loves them both, the shared message was clear: we are here for you. And that kind of collective compassion is rare, but when it happens, it reminds us of the true power of fandom, not just in celebrating success, but in holding space for heartbreak. Fans also began creating art, writing letters, and even organizing virtual memorials as a way to honor the person who was so precious to Yibo and Xiao Zhan. While no official details about the individual have been released, fans chose not to pry, but instead to channel their love into something healing. It became less about who was lost, and more about how to support those left behind. If we take a step back, this moment highlights something we often forget. Celebrities are not invincible. They smile for us, they work tirelessly to entertain us, they become symbols of beauty, strength, and perfection. But they are also sons, friends, brothers, human beings who cry when they lose someone they love. And perhaps that's why this story resonates so deeply. Because grief is something that unites us all, no matter who we are. There's also something quietly beautiful in the way loss deepens connection. For many fans, this event has made them reflect on their own lives, on the people they cherish, on the fragility of time, on the importance of love. And in that sense, even in the midst of pain, there's a reminder to hold our loved ones close while we still can. As the days pass, fans continue to watch over Yibo and Xiao Zhan from afar, hoping to see them smile again, not because of performance obligations, but because joy has found its way back into their hearts. They know it will take time. Grief doesn't follow a schedule. But they also know that these two have each other, and that's perhaps the most comforting part of all. Because in moments like this, friendship, companionship, and shared understanding are the greatest sources of strength. We often talk about the magic of the Untamed, about how it connected millions of people across the world. But maybe the real magic lies not in the drama itself, but in the bond between these two men, and the way they continue to inspire not just through their art, but through their humanity. So where does this leave us? It leaves us with a story that isn't just about loss, but about love. Love for the people who shaped us. Love for the ones who stand beside us when life feels unbearable. Love for the fans who, even from across oceans, manage to send warmth through a screen. It's heartbreaking, yes, but it's also deeply moving. Because in their grief, Yibo and Xiao Zhan have unknowingly reminded us all of what truly matters. And maybe that's why fans are so determined to stay by their side. To be patient, to wait for them to heal in their own time. Because supporting an idol isn't just about buying albums or streaming songs. It's about being there in the dark times too, quietly saying, "We've got you." Alright, my friends, that's where we'll wrap it up today. I know this wasn't the easiest story to cover, and it's definitely not the kind of news that leaves us grinning from ear to ear. But it's important, because sometimes, the truest sign of love for our stars is not just celebrating their wins, but honoring their struggles. So wherever you are, send a thought, a prayer, a bit of love toward Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan. They may not see every message, but they'll feel the collective warmth. And as always, thank you for tuning in, for caring, for being part of this community that goes beyond entertainment and taps into something real, something human. Don't forget to hit that like button. Share your thoughts in the comments. What would you say to Yibo and Xiao Zhan right now if you had the chance? And of course, subscribe so you don't miss the next update. Until then, take care of yourselves, hold your loved ones close, and remember, even in loss, there is love. See you in the next one.